Hello, everybody. So, right now I will try to review the book A Fortunate Universe. And this was given as a gift from a channel of apologetics, Apologetica Creationism Report. And first of all, I want to thank them. And I want to talk what it means, this book. And sorry for my child. Um, so, what it kind of goes to, it uses one argument which is quite known in the scientific world, and this is named the anthropic argument or something like that. And it says that if you look into this world, you will see things uh, to exist or to be as we are now. Things should be very, very well aligned, all the planets aligned, to say so. And it has many, many graphs and discussion about this. But if you go deeper, some of the arguments would be not that convincing. And I will go with one example. One known example in the past, maybe you heard this part, like our planet is the best place to have life. This is not in this book, strictly speaking, but I want to say to get this kind of argument. And in fact, we know from our understanding of life today that life could exist kind of on any planet from Venus to Mars. So this area where there is water. Obviously, the planet has to be big enough. It has to have some specific atmosphere and so on. But we know that our carbon type of life, our kind of bacteria and so on, could live if not overheating on a Venus kind of planet or on Mars. So the range is quite wide. And you'll see this very often in the book. But the idea is that if you sum them up, so this is just putting as a range. So I will show just one, which to me is very clear. So here it says what's the balance of the values to have life. So here it's our dot, and this is a balance between three forces. And here even you can't see the numbers. Maybe you can, but if it focuses. But on the y-axis are powers of 10, sorry. So it goes from at least 10 power minus 10, which is 10 billion, to 10 power 5. This is the 10 power 5, 10 power minus 10. And here in the left, it's around 10 power 2 or something like that. So let's say 100 to 10 power minus 7. So the ranges are really huge. So I'm not saying all these dots, but many, many universes could exist with some stable stars with quite wide range. And this is to say just the stars that they would form. So our universe looks in a way balanced, but even when you look into the argument, it looks weaker than you know it. The other part, so this is really, it's a lot of this kind of discussion. And I would grant, even for the sake of the argument, that our universe is fully tuned for have life or to exist as it is. But this issue of really looking to improbable things, it means mostly nothing philosophically and so on. So if you look in any event of today, in fact, your parents to get married, or if they are not married, and I'm not judging them, and have you as a child unmarried, this event of just meeting themselves meeting, no matter how unlikely it is, it's quite unlikely, because there are many, many events which, when they accumulate, they make you existing really kind of chance zero, almost zero. The chance that dinosaurs were killed on the right moment, so we evolved as mammals from small kind of rodent size to today as humans, self-aware, it's also very unlikely, but still it happens 100%. So So no matter how many events you put them in the past, and this is one philosophical and statistical, in fact, mistake of not understanding that everything in reality. So the science can't approach this kind of questions, excluding that you prove the intelligence or something like that. But let's let this be all behind us. The book to me doesn't feel so good to read, but maybe because I have better books or looking better. Okay. So this kind of book, the definitive visual guide, it has also better photos, and I'll say you should put photos too, and better fonts and so on. This, if you want to show how amazing is our universe, this is it, and I think it's a better book, even it doesn't say about God or how lucky you are in this universe, because that's not the point of the book. I won't say that the book looks a bit a downgrade, but I'm not blaming, just to say it is well written too. But let's go back. Let's say our universe teleologically it's made just to be as is. Is it a paddle analogy right, which the author was hinting a lot? And I think he's fully right that there is no paddle analogy possible, because paddle analogy, it says that the environment changes the things and we observe as a result of the environment. And as far as we know, we don't know how other universes are, if there are any. And as far as we know, our universe is not a result of pressures from other universes to look like it's a puddle. We don't know if universes they try to use all the values. We don't know if because of the quantum state there are many cloning universes or whatever models are for the multiverses. So I fully agree with the author, also commenting a bit on his live talk. But also to me it looks that the look, instead of saying, okay, this is not a paddle analogy, we know which argument he used it. And this argument which he used in philosophy is named the watchmaker argument. And the watchmaker argument, the sad part or the fun part, it is that it was the argument saying that you see a watch somewhere on the beach, it has to be a watchmaker. And the issue is that we know there is no watchmaker, at least in the field when the person said there should be a watchmaker. And that was in the complexity of biological things. And the answer is, as far as we know, scientifically evolution. And to be very fair, when the watchmaker argument was made for the complexity of life, there was no answer. So it was a reasonable watchmaker assumption to say God created things, or maybe if not created, used a process like creation. There was no other explanation, at least. And with evolution, we know there was one. So right now, probably we are just 100 years away from the answer of most of the questions, maybe not all. And if we'll have that answer, the watchmaker argument fails. The other quite important part to me, let's say the universe was even made, so I will grant everything. Let's say it was a God, even whatever it would mean, that God, that just tuned some variables, some values, so the universe is kind of doesn't break. I personally can't see anything you can build out of it. It's really, I mean, I exclude that you said, as I said, maybe we can have the answer later. We can, the book doesn't feel as convincing as it should feel, but let's grant everything. What will you get out of it? You get a universe which is balanced. And it is a universe which we know it tries to kill us many times, and it killed us many times. Like there were more than 10 extinctions. major ones, not like glaciation, which just killed the mammoths or Neanderthals or something like that. We really huge, like uh, the Siberian trap, which they killed, I think 97% of all life, all species on Earth, something like that. So this is our planet, but obviously there are black holes. There could come another asteroid to destroy everything that is bigger than a bacteria, or not even bacteria, but let's say something like that, like how our moon was formed. It doesn't give confidence, even granting all the book, which I think reasonably you shouldn't. At least it looks like a weak apologetics argument if it is like an apologetic. To the credit of the book, it doesn't pretend to be an apologetics book. But on the other hand, it looks to me that it tries to answer questions which scientists they don't make. Yes, as I said to you, if you know that have many background, many stories behind you, you simply don't make understand. You know it's still 100%, and you can't make an assumption about how fortunate is the part. And okay, so should I recommend it? I personally don't. I personally think the book of Rasmussen, Joshua Rasmussen, about God, it's a better, at least as apologetics book. If you want to see how universe is better, a visual guide like this one, it's a better book. And it's not because it's printed better. It is really giving to you this sense of how humble we are. And this book says, look how lucky we are. And maybe that's the spirit you have to think. But in reality, it doesn't mean much that we are lucky. Because, I don't know, I as a Romanian, I'm very lucky. We dropped, I'm not living in a communist Romania under the dictatorship of Ceausescu or his sons. I live in another country, living freely, married and so on. So, okay, I hope I didn't bore you, and if I did, I'm sorry. And I have an ending, rationality with you, and see you next time. Bye bye.